Hello everyone, Viana here. Today's multifamily nugget is how to talk the talk. As an aspiring real estate investor, you need to know your terminology. You need to know how to talk to brokers, talk to industry professionals, how this game works. Present to them that you understand your terminology, and it just puts you at another level so you don't come off as a complete novice. So let's dive into some of the key terminology that you need to know as a real estate multifamily investor. So I've written them down. Excuse my handwriting, I should have been a doctor, but I like real estate better. We'll start with NOI. So net operating income is a crucial metric for multifamily. It's calculated by taking the total income and subtracting all the expenses and then getting to NOI. The most important metric in the property is the profit it generates after expenses. We use that metric, the NOI, to determine a multitude of things. Crucially is cash flow, how much does it cover our debts and what's available for distribution. It also determines the value of the property. So you want to make sure that your property is producing a significant amount of NOI so that the value goes up when you go to exit. The next important terminology for you is cash on cash. So cash on cash return. This is a very important metric because it shows the cash generated on your investment, not on the operating income, but on your actual investments. If I invested $100,000 in the property and it generated $10,000 worth of cash flow, that would be a 10% cash on cash. So the next metric we're going to look at is the capitalization rate. So the cap rate is a very important metric that we use to effectively make things apples to apples. How much cash is being generated by this property for this property type, and is it in alignment with the other properties? You calculate the cap rate by taking the NOI and dividing it by the market value of that property. So when you look at two apartments side by side, you can see based on its market value or the selling price, you can determine how much cash is this generating. So you want to make sure that, I've got a 5 cap here and a 5.5 cap. What are the differences? Why is this one more expensive? Why is this one cheaper? You want to understand the fundamentals there. The next one is DSCR. The debt service ratio is that NOI that we established earlier, NOI. Your NOI, how much times does that cover your debt service? So typically banks are looking at anywhere from a 1.2 and above. So it needs to cover your debt service by 1.2 times. When you're acquiring a property or refinancing, sometimes they look at what's the NOI constraint by. So if your NOI to the loan value is only, to the debt service value that they're calculating is only generating a 1.0, well then they're going to reduce the value or reduce the loan proceeds to get it to that 1.2 or that 1.25 if you're going, with agency. Next up is a terminology that's often used when you're talking to brokers and other real estate professionals is price per unit, or here in the South, price per door. What is the total dollar value, the total value or sales price divided by the number of units? So $1 million property, 100 units, 10,000 units. Which would obviously, we would love to see a 10,000 per door, but that's not the case, right? So just for illustrative example, so you're looking at, what's the price divided by the units, and that gives you your price per unit. The price per unit can also be a good guide when you're quickly underwriting a deal. So for example, if you're looking at a deal that's a more heavy value add play or heavy construction play, rehab play, you need to determine whether you're buying that at a reasonable price. And a quick back of the napkin price per door can always give you some quick insight to whether something's overpriced or whether something is undervalued. You have a 100 unit property and it's going for $1 million, it's 10,000 per door, but it's completely vacant, right? Whereas that same property could 100 units, it's 90% occupied, and that could be going for $100,000 a unit. It gives you a quick reference point to see whether there's if a deal's pricing makes sense. Next up, classification. The classification types of multifamily. So you have A class, B class, C class, D class. Typically A class new construction, B class 25 to 40 years, C class 40-year plus in terms of age, how old it is, and then D class is just everything outside of that. D class is typically in those tougher deals that are heavier management intensive, so you might want to steer clear of D and find yourself somewhere more towards the other side of the multifamily classes. And then finally, a key metric, LTV. The loan to value ratio compares the size of the loan to the value of the property. So how much loan am I taking out of the property? So in our example, if we had $1 million property, right, and we got a $600,000 loan on it, that would equal a 60% loan to value. So it's just the ratio between that. You'll come across this when you start to talk to lenders, when you start to talk to brokers. Maybe brokers will give you some suggestions where they're like, hey, this property could qualify for 70%, 80%, and this is the person you got to go talk to. So remember, it's also important for your deal, because you want to know how much equity do I need to bring to the table. So in this example, I need to bring 400,000 if the lender's bringing 600 to get to my $1 million. So as an investor, it's vital to understand these terms to make informed decisions when developing your strategy. So remember, knowledge times action equals results. Make sure you understand the basics so that you can go out and take actions and get the results that you're looking for. For more insight and knowledge that will deepen your understanding of multifamily, please visit our website, comment, like, and share this video, and subscribe for future content. I'm Viana Joseph, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Keep crushing it.